We begin our look at sports out in Cleveland, where the city welcomed the Midsummer Classic earlier this week. Major League Baseball put on one heck of a showing. Monday night belonged to Mets phenom Pete Alonso. Pistol Pete has one hell of a swing, $1 million swing, actually. The Mets rookie outlasted a worn-down Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the final round of the All-Star Home Run Derby on Monday night to win $1 million, nearly double his 2019 salary. Alonso somehow had enough to edge Guerrero, who hit 91 homers but ran out of gas in the last round following an epic semifinal matchup against Dodgers outfielder Jock Peterson. Needing 23 homers to beat Guerrero, Alonso connected for a homer to left center before flipping his bat high into the air and hugging his pitcher cousin Derek Morgan. Alonso was then swarmed by the NL All-Stars, who were treated to a power display unlike any in the event's history. We go inside the locker room for more.
I mean, it was special. I mean, there's so many guys that just put on the show, like Jock. He was amazing. I mean, Vladdy, they did such a good job. Everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. I mean, everyone did such an amazing job, just kind of going out there and showing their stuff and showcasing young talent in the game. And I thought that was awesome. I mean, everyone went out there and put on a show, and I thought it was really entertaining to watch and sit on the sidelines for. And I got some time to kind of sit back and soak it all in and watch some guys hit some moonshots. And I mean, it was fun. It was fun to be a part of, and to be a part of this is surreal.
Alonso is the second rookie to win outright following Yankees star Aaron Judge in 2017. He's also the first Mets player to win the Derby since Darryl Strawberry shared the title with Wally Joyner back in 1986. As for the All-Star Game Most Valuable Player, meet 24-year-old right-hander Shane Bieber. He was the lone member of the Indians' rotation to make the All-Star Game. Thanks to his standout work in the fifth inning, Bieber was named MVP of this year's Midsummer Classic. On Tuesday night in his home ballpark, the Cleveland Indian was summoned from the bullpen. He struck out the side. Here's Bieber, not Justin Bieber, in the postgame.
I didn't really know what to think. Kind of lost all feeling in my body, but it's an incredible feeling now. Now that it's kind of sinking in. Just to be able to do it in front of the home crowd in my first All-Star game is definitely not something I expected, especially being added to the game 5 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. So, like I said, just to be able to do it in front of the home crowd was extremely special to me, and they definitely helped me tonight.
The Biebs. The official second half of the season starts tonight. The Yankees are back in the BX to welcome Toronto. The Mets and Alonso are in Miami this weekend. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. The Tour de France moves into Stage 7. In MLS soccer, NYCFC and the Red Bulls renew their rivalry. They'll play Sunday night in New Jersey. That game gets underway at 6:30 p.m. Sunday is also the Big Three's return to the Big Apple. The 3-on-3 basketball tourney will play at noon at the Barclays Center. Our BronxNet cameras will be in Brooklyn this weekend for Formula E's return to Red Hook. Formula E is growing quickly. True, the all-electric racing series is young, finishing up its 5th season this weekend in Red Hook. So theoretically, the only direction is up. The series has races on Saturday and Sunday through the streets of Brooklyn. In the NBA, James Harden and Russell Westbrook are teammates again. While all the buzz had been about OKC trying to trade Westbrook to Miami, a place where Westbrook was interested in, that was a complicated trade because Oklahoma City wanted to dump extra salary and Miami was up against the hard cap. In the end, the Rockets won out. The Thunder have agreed to trade Westbrook to the Rockets for Chris Paul. First-round picks in 2024 and 2026, pick swaps in 2021 and 2025, league sources told ESPN. Maybe Paul goes to the Lakers, who knows? The Knicks didn't get Russ, but they added their 4th power forward of the offseason. Head-scratcher there. Still a good move. Marcus Morris spurned the San Antonio Spurs for a one-year deal with the Knicks. The one-year $15 million contract for Morris in New York now has the team right at the salary cap. New York still has the $4.8 million room exception available and now has 14 players on guaranteed contracts. In the NFL, sad news from Jetsville. Walt Michaels died Wednesday at the age of 89. He played a prominent role in 2 of the most exciting eras in Jets history. He was the defensive coordinator on Super Bowl III and was the head coach for the New York Sack Exchange in the early 1980s, returning the franchise to respectability. R.I.P. to Walt Michaels. Serena Williams made it look easy in the Wimbledon semifinals. Of course she did. Williams is once again on the verge of an 8th Wimbledon championship and 24th Grand Slam title, moving into the final at the All England Club with a 6-1, 6-2 victory on Thursday. On Saturday, Williams will take on number 7 seeded Simona Halep of Romania. A little over a month ago, Red Sox legend David Ortiz was shot in the Dominican Republic in what officials there have characterized as a case of mistaken identity. Ortiz suffered multiple gunshot wounds, was treated in a DR hospital, and within a couple of days was transferred to Massachusetts General in Boston, where he remains. Ortiz's wife, Tiffany Ortiz, passed along some early updates on his condition via the Red Sox, with almost everything pointing in a positive direction. Yesterday, however, Tiffany provided an update that, while somewhat vague, shows that Ortiz is not yet out of the woods in his recovery. He had a 3rd surgery due to complications. Get well, David Ortiz. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list to pay tribute to a literary and baseball legend. I had the privilege of meeting the great Jim Bouton when I was a little kid. He was a brilliant man, a pretty good pitcher, but perhaps more a game changer with his acclaimed book, Ball 4. Both the world of baseball and the world of literature has lost a titanic figure. Bouton, an ace for the late dynasty pennant-winning Yankees, an outcast on the hapless 1969 Seattle Pilots, and the author of that book, Ball 4, arguably the greatest baseball book of all time, has died at the age of 80. Bouton had been suffering from a disease linked to dementia for the past several years. He was born in New Jersey in 1939 and was raised in Chicago before going on to pitch at Western Michigan University. The Yankees liked what they saw and gave Bouton a $30,000 bonus to sign in 1958. A combination of good pitching and some untimely injuries to established Yankees pitchers allowed Bouton to make the defending World Series champs out of spring training in 1962. Bouton pitched 10 years in the majors, including 7 with the Yankees, where he made 1 All-Star team and was a member of the 1962 World Series champions. He's better known for his tell-all baseball book, Ball 4, a controversial account of his 1969 season in which he wrote about the personal exploits of some of his former teammates like Yankee legend Mickey Mantle, hitting a home run while hungover, as well as the rampant use of amphetamines in the game of baseball back then. Ball 4 gave fans a look at a side of baseball that was previously unseen by anyone but the deepest insiders. In it, Bouton wrote about the pranks, dirty jokes, and drunken womanizing rampant among baseball players, with special emphasis on the doings of Mantle and his former Yankee teammates. He talked about drug use, most notably the amphetamines or greenies of players. He talked about fights between teammates and players and fights with management. He also talked about cheating in the game, such as ball scuffing and sign stealing. Often overlooked, but easily the most affecting part of Ball 4, however, was Bouton's chronicle of his own comeback as a major league pitcher, in which he wrote with brutal honesty about his fears and doubts about his ability to make it in the big leagues again. To me, it's still the greatest baseball book ever. My mom introduced me to it as a little kid. She also introduced me to the man himself. Bouton also gave me a lesson in autographs. He said to use a ballpoint pen for baseballs and Sharpies for just about everything else. Thanks, Mr. Bouton, for taking the time to sign my baseball, teach me that little tidbit, and for writing a book that inspired a young baseball fan to become a journalist and sports writer one day. Oh, and by the way, you were a pretty good pitcher, too, 21-7 and a fantastic 2.53 ERA in that 1963 season. We'll miss you, Jim. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.